Hi, everyone. We'll get started in just a few seconds. All right, I think we can get started. Welcome to Automating DNS, DHCP, and IPAM with Maestro. I'm Lauren Malhoy, the Director of Technical Content at Men&Mice, and I'll be running this very quick 5 live demo today. This is very informative. Please feel free to leave your comments on whatever platform you're using, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them in real time. Today, we're going to go over how we can use Postman to build a DHCP scope using, of course, the Maestro APIs. And if you are not familiar with Maestro, we are a DNS, DHCP, and IPAM solution. We are an overlay and orchestration solution, and that's why we're so great to use in your automation practices. So, uh, you know, when it comes to automation, having an overlay, having an abstraction layer, you basically get a standardized API for your entire DDI environment. So no matter whether your workloads reside in the cloud or on premises or at some co-location somewhere, your workflows, your automation workflows will remain consistent. So this leads to your network being more consistent, more reliable. And this is exactly why we're going to go through the practice of creating a network template today. So, sure, it might be faster to do things in an automated way, but that's not really the point. The point in today's example is to create a consistent DHCP scope template so that your DHCP scopes all look the same. And this is just a small example, but the more consistently we create any network object, and including DDI objects, right? The more reliable they'll be, the easier they'll be to troubleshoot, and the less likely there will be an outage due to human error. So let's go ahead and jump over to Postman now. What we're looking at here is I've created a new Postman collection. We did go through Postman collections in a previous session. If you missed it, just go ahead and check out Men and Mice YouTube. We have an automation playlist with all of our previous shows there, if you will. So today we'll skip ahead and we'll see this new DHCP template collection. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how each of these kind of work, and then we'll go through how you can kind of use it in a more automated fashion. So right here, I have a call to just get HCP server info in my environment. So if I click send, then I get status 200 okay, everything looks good, and I get all of the information about all of the DHCP servers within my environment. Sorry, can you guys see that? Go ahead and maybe enlarge that a little bit so everyone can see. Sorry about that. We have some real time uh, improvements going on, but I think it'll be worth it. Let's jump into Postman. All right, here we go. We send and we get status to okay, and it tells me all of the information about my DHCP servers like I showed. And so I'm going to use that information then and see how to create a new range, because in Maestro, we need to have the range available before we can create a DHCP scope from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and send that. And again, we go through kind of all of the details in some of the previous episodes, but we can see that we get a status 201. So that means it worked. I was able to create an IP range 192.168.201.0 with a /24. I called it guest wireless. You can call it whatever you want, obviously. And I add a comment, new range from Postman. So now that we have that range, we'll go ahead and we will, sorry, things are a little slow here. Okay, we will click send. And now we get a status 201. We were able to convert that into a DHCP scope. Now, if we click on create DHCP pool, we'll click send again. And this added a pool for the guest wireless. And then we can go ahead and add things like exclusions or reservations. And we'll click send. And again, we've created more exclusions, maybe for our access points or our routers, as I've noted again here in the comment. So if I go in then and I look at Maestro and enter my password, of course, and we'll do a refresh right here. And goes really slow when you're doing a live demo. Good news is that it worked. So now I have this 192.168.201 range created. I just created a little smart folder here so that I could find it easily as I was doing this demo. You can see I filter for anything 201 related, and that is what will pop up in our smart folder when we do that. And now if I go ahead and I click on view history, well, you can see all of the comments that I had made through my API calls in here. So new range from postman, convert to scope, we have all of those steps. I can see that very easily in the view history. If I were to actually dive into that scope, I can see some of this information. So my exclusion range was from .10 to .15. So we can see that marked by red. And then the address pool continues on until .200 or something like that. Now, this is all well and good. It worked. What I want to show you now is how you can actually run the collection. So we're going to get rid of this network. So you can see my 201 range has been deleted completely. If I go back into Postman now, I have the ability to do a run collection. Now I'm going to get rid of this get call because I don't really need that anymore. I needed that in order to create the post calls in order to create this template. But I don't really need to run that in like an automated fashion, right? The other thing I can do, I'm just going to do one iteration here because I only have one scope that I'm creating. However, if I had all of this information in a spreadsheet somewhere, maybe I had 100 scopes I needed to create, I could put all that information in a spreadsheet, use variables, and then have it iterate 100 times, right? Again, creating kind of the exact same type of scope, but obviously with different subnets involved. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and run this one to show you what that looks like. And I can see I'll come back to the testing that we've done here, but we did get a pass status on all of that, so that's all good news. If I go back in and I prove it to you and do a refresh, and now we can go back in. We can view that history again. We can see that the exact same thing was created. Now, just to quickly show you, I did have to create these tests in order to run a collection, right? I didn't need the test to run each individual API call, but if you want to run a collection, you do have to create the test. And it's real easy to create these tests. All I did was basically check that the status was a successful status. So for the post, in this case, is 201. Now, I didn't even have to know enough to create this myself. I can just go over to the right here and I see that there's a test already created called status code. Code is 200. And I just click on that, it automatically pops that into the test for me. I changed it to 201 because I know that that's the successful code for a post call. And then we're off to the races. So you can really get started anytime. It's really easy. You don't have to be a programmer to get started. You can kind of learn as you go. And I highly recommend that. And I promised a gift to everyone. So with elections, I have created a GitHub repo that has all of our Postman collections that I've been going through in it. So if you just head over to GitHub and you look for, I should have had this already up, and you nice, then we should be able to get to that fairly easily. We'll just go back to the Men&Mice this way. You can see I have Postman collections here, and this automatically is linked, so it all gets updated, and you can either fork this or download or raw content and just import it into your own Postman client, and you should be off to the races. Thanks everyone for joining. That's all I have for today. Hopefully we will see you either in person or on camera at Cisco Live in just a couple of weeks. If you're headed over to DevNet, especially stop by our booth too, and you can see how Maestro makes it really easy to do things programmatically, do things through the APIs. With that, thanks everyone for watching. Please feel free to reach out anytime, ask questions, give suggestions. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks everyone.